Hello, nice to see you again. Since we last spoke, I made some changes reflective of the comments that you have made. Again, this is a garage project, adding an addition onto the side of the house, so on this side of the house. One of the things you wanted was to have more photos of the properties across the street. So anyway, on this, I just showed you the ones that are adjacent to the house. This is one just to the left of the house, and this is the open field that is next to it. And then these are elevations of the house itself. Then on the map, you can see 16, 18, and 30 are the properties that are across the street. So 16, and 18, and then 30. Most of them are split levels, some are ranch, and that's part of the design of those houses. Okay. Plans. The other thing to do was to get the floor plans and the elevations for the full building so that you can have a better reference to understand what the changes are to the building. This is the garage level. This is where the new garage will be. This is the existing house. And then it has a split level. You go up the stairs, and then there is a living room, dining room area over here, and then it goes out to a deck. And then on the upper floor of the garage, which is storage, this is a view of that. Here's where and reflective of comments, we also added a bump out in the back to have kind of define it. So it's a 1 foot in the back of the house. That's any other changes there? No. Okay. Then this is the elevations, and we can go through, and I'll come right back to this. But just that they show the full elevations, added in the photo of the window that was missing before, and laid out a more detailed layout of the garage. And this is the rear of the house and the back elevation. Some of the changes that we made was adjusted the windows slightly so that the dividing line between the windows would be aligned with the garage below. And that on the rear of the building, where it was a blank wall, it had only one window before, we mirrored what was on the front of the building. We can't have windows down at the bottom because that's where the stairs go up, and it just didn't make any, there was no place to put windows on the lower level. Yes, exactly, from before, yeah. And then the other change is that the owner wanted to have a stone veneer on that face of the east face of the garage. So those are the changes that were made. Sure. Oh yes, these other elevations. So this is just showing the full building from the side. This is the side view, which is the north. And there's no changes on the windows except that I made the windows the same size as the front, just so that they are in keeping. And it shows that the back deck, and then this is elevation from the south side. The garage is on the opposite side of this, and it shows the deck in the back. The elevation for the garage, the owner would really like to have the curved shape of the windows, and in connection with that, we went through the area, his street, and there are several homes. Let's see, is the right one? Yes. There are several homes that have no curves on them per se, nothing that would line up with an arch on the regular part of the building, but they've added curved elements and in their garages to try to make a little different look. And I think it looks nice, even though it's not consistent necessarily with the building as a whole. But that is the way the street, Glenwood Street is like.
Okay, I'm generally fine with it. I just have one, it's not a deal breaker for me, but why do you have the hip on the back of the garage addition?
Sorry, which page are you on?
Just in general, you have a gable in the front, but you put a hip in the back of the garage.
He likes that look. It's fine with me. From the side, it looks a little bit odd, but he likes that look from the back.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Just move it.
No, okay.
I didn't make the last meeting.
That's okay. I'm happy to
I
leave.
have to abstain.
One last thing, at the last minute, the owner asked whether he could mirror these two windows over here.
Which
And
ones?
these two, is this double window, I'm sorry, I'll show you up here, of course.
You can center them over the triple window, so.
Yes, so, the elevation. So he wanted to take, if he has budget for it, he wanted to take these two windows and put them over here so that they
With the
would balance
center-
it out.
With the
Yeah, that would
center
be
of the
great.
center, they
Correct.
actually.
That would be great.
It's an improvement, and so that's fine, so
But
would I,
but you'll shift it so that they're equal.
I will shift it so that they would, I would try to get that they're equal on either side. I'll play with, I don't know whether I can get an alignment and it's equal, I don't know that I can do both of those.
Well, I think
No,
alignment in
no,
the
you need to
center.
move
In
this
the
Center
center.
them over, draw
Center right over
Yeah.
that, that's fine, okay, I can do that, I can do that,
If
alright,
it's
so we'll
okay
do
with
it.
the size.
So this.
I would not.
I mean, not that will change it. It has no.
But I guess it's
Yeah,
the
a
only
little
thing
bit.
we would
Portrait.
have to
Like
draw it
6
in
inches
before,
there. What's that?
so that we can,
Yeah, this
but we are okay with
Look
it,
at
but
yours.
for them,
Yeah,
for the building,
Yeah, if you could
they
just
need to
draw it
have
in.
Draw.
Yes,
To revise
And then you don't have to come
Okay.
back.
Just
Like
initial
even
one.
if you do it by
but
hand,
you need to probably note alternate something, otherwise put a flag in.
the flag is an alternate, is that what you said?
So would you like?
Is this a guaranteed install or
No, the owner wanted it.
I can put it as an alternate,
so I can mark up the plans and put it in as an alternate?
okay, I'll do that,
You could do that right now.
But then you
Okay.
don't have to.
very good.
And this is revised 11 by 17.
Send it for the presentation. And that's timber bending. Plus it's timber. The guy from Greg against the. Yeah, it was good. He went over his.
You see my spreadsheet?
Should I do it? Yeah, sure, certainly.
Sorry, this, I went through it last
I tested it.
You need to do it on.
Yes,
year. Yes.
this one is all.
Very good.
Just do that.
So you stamp I've ever seen.
Yeah, how come your stamp becomes so big?
So, well, it's because I do it this size for the 11 by 17, and then it gets big for the bigger one. And I want you to be able to see it from space.
They have problems.
Tom.
Just in case my eyes go bad.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Joe's been here.
All right, so all set? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Get past me.
Not much.
Next one is our module. Okay. This is the. I only got 11 percent.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This is for the second application, yeah?
For me? No, I haven't applied yet.
Oh, okay.
I think he's just,
I'm
that's why I
filling
asked
in.
about
So
open.
this
Yeah, I'm gonna apply soon, so I just
So you
wanna
wanna
see
get
what
a
the.
sense of what.
Yeah. Spectator today and then an activist next time.
Active,
Do we have the?
Yep.
Fire.
That's true, yeah. You don't want me to.
I think they should put this stuff also just part of the
It's missing everything.
three
This is the original.
Oh.
Oh, you were, okay, yeah, good.
What's
the other thing? Environmental.
The original house.
Say you're at the corner.
Oh, it is, garage doors like that.
Or maybe that's
That's the old.
the old.
This is the
Oh,
revised.
this is, that's the back door.
Here's
Right.
pictures,
Yeah.
neighbors.
Oh, okay, check like the whole house or just the? Oh, okay, good.
So I don't, check it file. Most of them are.
I'm thinking Vince says there's a lot of shouldn't care about
The environment support area, that can be erosion controls as well.
Basically, just got four fly on these.
So back together.
Is this a new build?
Yeah, I think
So there's nothing.
Different person, different time frame.
Makes sense, we mentioned erosion and stuff like that.
In the beginning, we wanted to make sure it was stable.
Did they change anything?
From
Here.
more than
One
Yeah.
here.
It looks great.
This is
one.
one.
One guy, two big guys.
Sorry, can you have this?
Yeah, well, I had the whole place hot.
This was kind of.
That one document.
Are you good there?
You said.
Yeah. I think we just treated for elevation. And then the environmental guy will put a check in there. where it's-
Once you check it, so that's
And then I have the. Next one. That's one here. So we have this.
Well, they put a,
Right, you have to
This will be shared.
oh, they put it some trail. They put some trail on
corner boards.
it. Yeah, okay. So this is the whole one.
Alright. Hi, Lauren.
Hi.
Hi. So, yeah, so we're back, it's the second one here, so we got with the builder, the modular company. And changed up some of the windows, I think you have them, right?
Yep.
And so on the one end wall, we did the double,
On the top,
that was the one that said, had,
left-hand
there was
side.
just one window for venting or something, it had-
Yeah. So we had the
Yes.
second one.
So this is what was presented, this is
Yes.
what you
Right.
made.
Right. So we mimicked it, and then on the opposing side wall there, we lined up the two windows.
In the bedroom.
It's a bedroom, so we wanna have the bed in the middle of the room there. So,
Which is what elevation? You didn't mark the elevation, so,
it's the opposite
Right
of,
side.
okay.
the garage side, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's the master, so there'd be a bed in between there.
So in terms of sorry, in terms of the plans, you're doing correct, you just corrected the elevations, but not the plans, yes?
No, it sounds like that. What do you mean?
But I don't see the two windows, I just see the
Yeah, I
one
remember
window.
this one.
Because it's in the other, it's, yeah, it's there.
That one corresponds
To
to
the,
this.
right, and then the
Correct.
garage
And
below
this one,
has the two
that
windows
one,
in the
yeah.
garage.
Right, the garage is
Line up.
matching that. And, oh, and
And this is.
This window here we added. on
that's the opposite side, that's the
bedroom.
one,
Here.
right, it had originally said it was for like airflow, so the comments, we why not just put another one,
To
for airflow
match
in the other bedroom to match it, so.
And how about those windows?
What is that?
In the same kind of same treatment as this.
Well, because there's no place for the bed at that point. It's furniture
Yeah.
placement,
Cause the bed is,
furniture placement
Here.
and privacy because
On this one.
if you walk into a room, the bed's always, you're always looking at the headboard.
oh, you're walking
No,
into it.
I
Yeah.
you want it here.
Yeah, and the bed's gotta go here, and then you walk in here, and the bed's gotta go here. Yeah, you don't walk into a bed, you walk into a room, you walk into the
On
end
that-
of the bed.
On that inner wall, you mean, yeah, you wouldn't wanna,
Yeah.
you wouldn't want a bed on the
That's-
inner wall.
You know, any designer will tell you
No.
that. Any designer says you're not gonna walk in, walk around, you know.
You have to
It's
Walk,
like in a
walk
hotel.
right into a bed.
Yeah,
You don't wanna
kinda,
walk around.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
small room anyway.
What kind of, yeah.
Okay, what are we discussing?
These bedrooms, just to, I was thinking that maybe we could put it under in this little
Window.
bedrooms.
So that's the foundation, so
There's
But
two.
they want to put the bed in the corner, yes.
That's the.
Yeah. You want to put the bed in the corner,
The bed's going to,
you want to put a bed in the corner.
right, a bed goes here, and
Okay,
then a
so,
bed,
so basically
and a
you
bed
access
over
the
here.
bed from only one side, not
right,
the
but
other.
when you walk into it, you're not walking to the side of a bed. It's like walking in this room and walking
Okay,
into
that's
here.
that's the opposite side, cause the master.
No, we're talking about this
Okay.
side here.
You,
bed
you're
here
just
and a bed here.
proposing the bed in the
Right,
corner of the room,
right.
so you access.
Right.
Oh, opposed, right,
That's why-
otherwise you'd have
That's why
to,
we don't have, you know, another window here.
you'd have a
another
window under the bed,
Yeah.
So in
or bed
order
under
to
the
get
window.
to that window, you have to step on the bed.
there. No, the bed is in the center. The bed is in the center here. There's room around the bed.
So as you
It's not like
walk
this.
around the bed or walk straight in, to the closet.
Yeah.
When you got in there.
It's like a twin bed.
Right, yeah, it's a small,
Yeah,
the kids.
they're small, I mean,
the rooms are
small room, it's only 24, I
And we
think,
put-
wide the whole house.
And in the master bedroom, we split the window so the bed can go in the center there too.
Yeah.
And then we match that up with the garage windows downstairs. Now, I suppose the reason why we didn't put a window here downstairs, because you have the kitchen and you have the dining room. And in the dining room, you have a hutch,
There's a built-in
Then it's-
hutch there.
and it's the only place to put the hutch. Plus again, this side of the house is 10 feet off the property line. It's, you know,
The
it's at the
dining room
setback.
side.
And for privacy reasons also, furniture reasons.
Don't really want a window
Yeah.
out to
The
the.
hutch is going the full length of this,
Yes, yeah, it's a
Well-
built-in wall, built-in cabinetry,
and it goes from floor to,
floor to ceiling.
It's like a dining set, it's a dining room, so it's, would be like.
No,
You're
no,
dining
I
room.
don't know.
Most people don't have 12-foot long. It would be nice if it could be
There's some
pulled
window.
back a little bit with
Yeah,
the window.
and you also gotta remember that if you look at this here,
Are you from
But
the
that-
modular?
no, we're
No,
part of it.
Oh.
yeah,
If you realize that this whole 3 rooms are only 23 feet long by 25 feet wide. You have a 6x6 window in the front, a 4 by 5 foot window in the kitchen, a full glass 7 foot by 3 foot door in the rear going out the back, and you also have a 3 foot by 5'8" window in the living room. There's plenty of light for downstairs.
But you also have a completely blank wall here.
Right, well,
but it's funny,
let me ask you this question here.
it kinda,
Last,
you
you want,
you
Again, you guys
you want
built it, so you live
you're
here.
no, we're not building it.
you're asking for
We own
uniformity.
it.
Who lives in the house?
My
There is no
daughter-
house.
There's nothing there right now.
No, but who is the house for?
My daughter.
Yeah, it's gonna go to her.
You asking for uniformity. The house next door just put up last year, 22. This is the side that faces us. 1 window, 1 door. This is the other side that faces the other side of the house. No windows, just 1 door. Now,
That's a brand new house. It was built
brand new
last
house,
year?
put up 22.
It was just sold a little while ago,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
done,
built in
I would
22.
imagine it came in front of the ARB, no?
I
I
don't
don't think
know.
we would
Did
have,
it-
we approved the blank wall.
It did?
plan.
So, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, that's our neighbor,
I
we
mean,
were,
we're only
we were
asking-
trying to be consistent with that house.
I mean, we're
this
just
is
asking,
consistent
I mean,
with
we
that house.
basically went with all your recommendations,
Do you have a
except for
site,
that one.
do you have a site plan that shows where the house is situated and the neighbors are
I
situated?
do,
On this one, yeah,
I do have a site
yeah,
plan.
that was.
Well, it's a
Not to
Yeah,
show
that
where
was
the,
good.
not to show where the
We
neighbors
just
are,
wanna look at it.
Yeah,
but, yeah, oh, she
yeah, we
has
sent
it.
this, it was like,
Yeah,
sent it like 9 of them.
yeah, sure. I mean, we're right 10 feet off the property line, you know, we don't want our neighbors looking at us, we don't wanna look into their, especially in the dining
Yeah,
room.
but our next door neighbor there with the new construction has almost identical, actually, they have 1 window.
You can
Up
see
top.
the
and then blank wall.
No, you wanna see the pictures?
Right,
Where did
actually,
it- where did it
we
go?
usually ask for the pictures of the
Is
neighbors'
yeah.
houses, they're all whole thing.
Well, we did that on the original.
This
Yeah,
one,
we sent those all in.
Yeah, so this one, this house you showing, it should be here, yes?
Yes,
One of those, okay.
I think that might be it, the one that you got right there.
Yeah, but we don't have that elevation that you're showing.
Is that what it is, this? Maybe that's.
Sounds right, the brand new house with blank walls.
It's not a brand new house, it was a renovation.
Was that part with blank walls old, or was that new construction?
Part of it was original, and then the new part was the garage that was.
Oh, that's why we couldn't say
You
anything.
wouldn't have gotten.
That's why we had no
So you
purview
understand.
over that
So
wall.
this wasn't a tear down and rebuild?
No.
Well, the garage, that is the garage side, you
Yeah,
said
but
the
we
the
couldn't
garage
have
is
told them,
garage
we
is
couldn't
new.
have told them to put a window in because that was existing and they didn't do anything
Oh, I
with
thought you
that
said the
side.
garage is
So
new.
what about the garage side? Where there's only one window?
But is that new?
That's the new part, you just
That's
said.
brand new, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the garage is new.
That was
I
done
don't
with the
remember
DRB?
exactly when, but this is, quite a few years ago, we saw this, and they did come to the.
Yeah, they
What-
com-
So
they
what
does the
completed
front
it
and back
this,
look like?
this
Maybe
past
the
year, I
front
believe it was completed.
You know, we're not here to argue with you or fight with you, we're just. in
No,
that-
I just wanna
in the
show you the
dining room,
uniform, the
You know,
consistency.
the dining
and-
room.
I appreciate that.
Kind of
is the one
mimicking
room that
them,
we don't
if you
wanna
will.
put windows in, with your, with your request of the window. For that reason.
This.
That, right. I mean,
And what, this is?
right here.
That's
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
the 10 feet.
Yeah.
Right, and then, the neighbors right here, yeah.
Yeah, we're 10 feet on, and their house is relatively
The
close.
neighbor has blank walls.
And where's their house here?
We don't have,
Yeah, well, we have,
I'm just
they're in the
wondering
photo.
if they're going to look at this facade.
well, if they're both 40 foot back from the side, I'm sure they will be. We're both gonna be more or less even.
So they are at 10, you said they are
I'm
10
10
feet,
feet.
10 feet, so you
No,
say
it's
that
a-
they're
it's a-
even 10 feet?
No, I'm
It's a
not sure.
wooded area.
20, 30 feet, I don't know what their
We're
distance
10
is,
Right,
but we're 10 feet off the top down, which means.
No, I understand, so you are
Yes,
very
it's
close to
situated
the
here.
house. I
Right.
was just wondering if they're going to be staring at this facade because it's,
Yeah, but then it's still.
you know,
like I said, it's a wooded
I
area
mean,
in
even,
between.
even if we were to, put a
Is
window
this
there,
10 feet?
eventually, if you put a
It's
fence
a
down that
quarter
line
acre zone,
for
so 10
shrubbery
feet
down
is-
there, you
yes,
can see
it's
that.
10 feet with
Yeah.
combined
Yeah.
of
You
30.
know, and
it's
there's
mostly
the
really
trees,
for your.
It's a shoe
these
board.
trees all up here in
What?
front are
It's a
gonna
shoe
stay here
board.
anyway,
Yeah,
the ones
This
that,
seems tight.
are
It
here
is,
now.
but it is code
With a
compliant.
report.
Now, they are asking for a
That's the
variance
back
to the
door.
front
We
and
added
the
that,
back.
transom over the door like you suggested, which makes sense.
Yeah, well,
Like it's like 8 foot,
there's,
like,
there's
almost
stairs
to that
coming
door.
out the back.
8 foot by 3 foot,
Out of the door,
all glass.
and there's a front vestibule. The house is built
Yeah, and the
in
kitchen
the
windows.
building
And
envelope.
others are, you know,
Inch
like for
to inch.
example, can those
So
windows
those are extra?
align? Or are they
Those
supposed
are
to be?
extra.
Yeah, this
Well, that's the
The
thing.
This window
stairs
can't move.
goes
It's-
outside
it's-
the
Yeah, we
It
can move this
projects
over,
out
it's
to it,
like 6
yeah.
inches, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And it
I mean,
doesn't
you know,
I mean, you want to try to
work with the
have
projections
those
into
windows.
yards because of the size of things, so they need
Symmetric.
variances.
Well,
more or
yeah,
less.
so they
They
can
have them
align,
come in
so
front of
they
the zoning
don't look
board.
like someone stick them
Right,
in
yeah.
other place
No, we
without,
understand
you know,
that.
that.
No,
Understand it.
that one there.
Yeah,
The other one is
In
the same.
general, what we are looking for some sort of reference, you see the way that we did it here.
Yeah, right.
And it looks a little bit calmer, nicer and thought out. If you have something, so I guess it's the improvement from what was there last
Well,
year.
that's-
It's
you know, we
one
tried
of
to-
the
this
last
is all your-
lots that was
You
never
know, your
built
requests
upon.
and your
And,
suggestions.
I was never
It's just
built
that,
by it.
you know, to tell you my
So that's why we
opinion,
have
this
this,
facade, it just, where it looks very poor.
it's all, it's up in the Kisco
You know.
Park area.
Even if you do leave that one blank, this, at least if
Over
that
the
was a
last few
bigger
years,
one,
we've done a lot of
Yeah.
tear down
Nothing,
and
it's almost
rebuilds up
like a-
there.
you know, like a double
You're
window,
all
triple
cottage
window.
Trying to
style
keep it,
houses.
like I say, with that,
You know, we
that
don't,
neighbor's
that's
side, it has just one little.
Yeah.
you know, neighbors looking into your bedrooms.
Yeah, but I don't think we are trying to match something that may not be an asset somewhere else and repeat it, you know, just, that's not the purpose of this.
Right.
Even if there was something somewhere else, that's.
I mean, it's right next door to us, and we figured if it was a new, if it was a new build, it had to have gone through.
No, they're not.
Must have gone
You're gonna
through
sell that.
the board. No, it didn't have to. What's up, man?
Whatever
Is there-
the
Doesn't matter.
yeah,
We just
there's,
look up again.
there's the original.
Which one, the original?
No,
Yeah.
we got the plan,
Something
the
that-
plan.
The bedroom's
Yeah,
here,
but these here-
and a bedroom door here.
Yeah.
So they can sell.
Yeah, I mean, you wanna
I mean,
see
as
your
it is-
headboard when you,
As it
when
is,
you
it's
walk
tight,
in.
you know, bed's 3 foot,
These aren't big rooms.
4 foot wide, where the bed is a couple, nightstands.
Put them here and you're gonna walk right into your bed.
Yeah.
Plus a nightstand's gonna be there.
I just,
You want what?
well, I would like at least to have them either bigger than small those.
Yeah, they're very narrow.
They're very narrow,
Well, they're basically
they're almost like
light-
lost, like
light and
some sort of
ventilation.
you know,
Do they meet the egress requirement?
Yes. We have the windows in the front and the back for
well, I
egress.
don't think these.
This
make-
the two smaller windows, one was in the front,
For
was
venting
for
and
venting and,
Yeah.
light ventilation
it's like a cross
requirements.
flow.
Okay, so that covered that room there. There wasn't one in this room because didn't need it, the back windows are bigger. So what we did is we ended up putting another window there to accommodate
Right,
at least some
the
kind
last
of
meeting.
symmetry.
So one is to meet the egress, so that must be
No,
this
they-
one, yes?
They both mean egress.
Yeah.
That can, that will not.
The
No, no.
front windows,
Is that
no,
the-
no,
is that
the
the-
windows
yeah.
meet
No, the-
Each room has one window.
that has
So
the
the
egress.
front
Yeah, so
bed-
that must be the one.
Yeah.
No, the one in the back, yeah,
And then the one in the front.
No, but I'm talking,
Yeah.
this is symmetrical.
Right, this, we
is
just
the
put
one.
this window in just to
Yeah.
line up with that window there, you know,
Well,
as
we
you
had also
suggested, as you
requested
suggested.
that one for that side wasn't enough.
And that's why we have the second one,
Right.
right, you know, to make it looks,
I think what
Symmetrical.
you're hearing from the board is that we don't think there's enough fenestration on that facade.
enough
Is that
what,
what
I'm
we're
sorry.
hearing, guys? Is that?
Not enough windows.
That's not my personal opinion, but
Neither.
I'm fine with that one as is. I mean, I think
I mean,
It's small, it's small house.
I mean, we accommodated 95% of your suggestions.
Comments?
I mean, we're only asking for,
I didn't
you
review
know, for a
it
little
last
privacy on that side of the
How
house.
do you feel about
I
it
can't
now?
make, I can't make.
Yeah.
No, you can.
No, you
We're
can
talking
based
about the
on,
facade.
yeah.
We're only asking for a little
There's gonna
privacy
be a
on that
built
side
in
of the
there,
house,
so
that's all,
it's a, s-
you know. The downstairs,
it'll be a dining room,
you
you know,
know,
it's gonna be tight there.
it's
Put a table in there, good sized table,
And it's a
Small.
big, that's a big built-in.
small
Let me
house.
see that.
You know, the house is only 24 feet wide. It's not a big house. It's only 40 feet long and 15 feet of that is the garage downstairs.
Well, if the dining room is tight, how you gonna fit a big volume in?
Oh, what?
It goes wall to wall, it's a built-in wall unit.
Well, it,
I mean,
For a small
that-
room, that's.
Well,
doesn't
it-
come out.
the wall unit is 12 inches, is 12 inches
Yeah,
deep.
it doesn't come
If we
out.
put a hutch there that's 2 feet wide, you know, it takes up more room. You know, we're just trying to accommodate everything, make everybody happy here. We're not trying to, you know, say, you know, we don't wanna do something, you know.
Yeah, one of our main comments last week, you know, there was a number of things wrong with the set of drawings, and our main comment was we don't like to see blank walls.
No,
So saying that you've got 95% of it, you missed the big elephant in the room, is we don't like blank walls. And you've got a big blank wall on the left, what is that, east-west, west facade. So I don't,
as opposed to this west side of the house.
again, that was,
This was the garage that was just built.
I don't remember that.
I understand
We
that.
don't
I'm just-
usually pass
I
it.
don't need to fight, argue, you know, be crazy, you know. My daughter's gonna be living in this house and the furniture placement is where the furniture placement is. Do we want people, I mean, put yourself in the same position. You
I
want
would love
people,
to have a window there if I walked into that room.
but would you like to have your neighbors looking at you eating dinner every night?
I have windows around my house and people can look in if they want. Everybody's gonna have a window that a neighbor can look into.
So it's, what was that elevation?
Well, it appears that there are no windows on that other house looking at you anyway, you said it's a blank
There's
wall.
one right there.
Well, that's the-
Oh, no, I'm
that's
this is the
opposite
other side. This is the other,
That's on our garage
this is
side.
the right side.
Both our garages are on the same side from the
And
neighbor.
you've got the big septic field on that side, so
Right.
they're way far away.
Oh, yeah, that,
Right,
there's
that's right.
distance between us, sure,
Right.
sure. But I mean,
So we would like, we're.
So your neighbors are looking at a blank wall, is really what I'm saying.
yeah. But, I mean, what would it be, a double hung? Because
What size window would you like there that's gonna take
the
up?
other, the back side, back part of that wall is is all
It's a
kitchen.
kitchen, you
Yeah, we usually would like to have something there, but we understand it's a small kitchen.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
it's-
so a 12-foot hutch just is not the
it's the
scale for this
range.
house, it's not the scale for this house. So it would be great if you had a window centered in the dining room. The table is centered in the room because it's a small room and it would look nice, you could have a credenza below that. You could
As
have
an
something else.
architectural point, or?
Yes,
or-
absolutely.
or
You-
personal
could-
point?
No,
The
you
cuts left and right of
You
it.
It would-
you could center the table on the front window, you could center it on the side window, it could look very nice.
centered on the dining room.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then-
just, it's a suggestion of what could work, I don't know.
Right, but we're trying to get to what's gonna work, because
Right.
then it wouldn't line up with the upstairs window.
And it won't function for the room. I mean, that's, that's our,
Right, but right now, when your idea of the beds in the corners, you've got your TV outlets in the corner, so I don't believe you're gonna put your bed over the
the
TV
TV,
outlet.
there's not gonna be TV outlets, I don't know why they're in there, she's going with Wi-Fi with everything. I mean, if we get through this process, we can have a full set of plans made, they won't make a full set of working plans until, everything here is settled.
Right, I know, but
Just
I,
look at
Oh,
the
TV, yeah,
information
no,
that's
it's not-
here.
yeah, you've got a TV outlet there, so but a twin bed doesn't take up that much room.
It doesn't, it's not there.
So I don't believe that you're gonna have a queen size or a king size bed in that corner, and you can't put a window there. So I think the saving thing of not putting more windows on that bedroom facade would be putting some windows in the dining room.
So, I'm sorry, I missed that for a second.
I mean, I think Claudia was getting at, you need either 2 windows or bigger windows on the second floor, as a, I guess, sort of a compromise, is put a window down in the dining room.
But we wouldn't be able to line it up if we,
None of your windows really line up that well.
well, we've been
I mean,
working
look
on
at
it.
the
We're
back,
trying to
look
work
at
with
the
you
back.
here, and,
Nothing lines up on the back.
if you wanted me to redesign the whole house, I
So
could do that.
one, you're talking about one, a double hung in the center of the dining room.
So what we are proposing, so either if you want to.
Either make these windows bigger or put a
Bigger.
window down there.
Not like that, except either, like you said, bigger these windows on one side, so they are
Mhm.
more substantial, so they take a little bit, and they provide you more light also. Or make another one, so if you want to
Oh,
keep
2
it
more
small,
windows here.
right? And then what you're doing downstairs is
Window in the middle, also
in
the same
relationship to
bedroom,
these,
it'd be a big
either
window on
one
this side.
one in the middle
here.
or whatever you.
Well, I would
Either
rather,
side.
if you're gonna force us to put a window in that room down there, I'd rather just put a window down there and leave those windows the same size they are. I mean,
You're talking
again,
about-
it's all privacy,
Talking
is
about
basically what
one
it's
double
all
hung
about.
here the size of these, I think is what you're saying.
So,
I mean, I'm okay with that, so. I don't know what we're gonna do with the huts,
Well, that's just it, I mean,
two built-ins on
in
each
the
side,
center, and if we put 2 smaller windows on either end,
and we'll look right inside.
we have a defense out.
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
A window in between
Yeah,
two built-ins?
So this is the old
I mean, I don't know exactly your furniture plan, what you want to do, but it
as
can
we
be.
were trying to explain that, but,
There are all
Well, that
types
was
of
gonna
ways
be
of-
like it was gonna be like an all built-in and for storage and China.
countertop, China,
Counter.
glass door
And
cabinets, so,
shallow,
you know,
shallow,
display
yeah,
dishes or
upper.
whatever else,
Shallow uppers display, China and
whatever.
stuff like that.
But you can still do that, just even with one window and you can have something lower and on the side you can have something higher. Well, I don't know,
I mean, you'd have
exactly
to,
know
I don't know.
what goes inside.
Have we
what
come
goes
to any
forward.
conclusions? We got multiple conversations going on about the same project.
Well, trying to put something in that's gonna,
To work with us, please, I mean, we're not asking for a lot, we've taken care of all the other issues that you've requested us to do, except that one window. I mean, you guys gotta.
Well, the other issues
Understand.
though were just adding more detail to the plans that you had last
I-
time, which wasn't complete
Right, and
by our,
we did,
by our
we did
standards,
this,
so
some of
those
that,
weren't,
like I
they
said,
weren't really issues, they were
right.
No.
They're rec-
incomplete plans that you showed us last week, so.
Well, issues.
Bob, do you wanna take a straw vote to see if this would pass or not pass?
We can, alright, so let's do that, so let's go around the room, so to speak, and if you are willing to approve it as is, and if you're not, then say what you would like to see it change. Randy, you wanna lead
Start
us
with me,
off?
I'm fine with it as is, it seems like the drawing of the front is missing the foundation, I don't know what's going on with the
With the garage.
garage door, but that's probably just a rendering issue, but
Yeah, kind of.
other than that, you know, it's not
That's it.
ideal, but it's,
That's a typical 8-inch exposure on the.
yeah, the foundation,
Yeah, right.
I'm for it.
Okay, Chad?
Am I allowed to vote, Tom,
Yes, you are.
since I didn't?
Yes, you are.
You've been here,
Review
the meeting has
it.
run long enough and you've reviewed the content
You
right
just
here
can't
before and
throw
after.
new topics and new issues that were previously approved.
I vote no,
Did you, what would you vote for, what would you suggest?
more windows.
Yeah, the specific suggestion, which is just leave it to the applicant to suggest.
I'm not gonna design it for him, so, I mean, that's not our purview to,
So not enough
Design.
fenestration is your vote.
Claudia?
Same, I think you were leaning towards adding either one, and I think I would accept it even today, if you can come up with something to make this tonight and propose us at the end of the evening something, I agree, more fenestration would be a better,
They can't pencil it.
A single, right?
Well, what if,
No,
They're not
They're not.
They're not the engineer from Missouri that made the plans, they can't change it.
we can't say, okay,
I mean,
We're
you
gonna do
can
that.
come back.
You
As the
can-
owners, they
you-
cannot.
You can come back on a virtual, you don't have to come.
Right,
to
you
the
could
room.
approve them as a tentative, if they come back with a stamped drawing, I would accept that if the board.
But as an owners, they cannot decide on a
You-
window?
You should know that you can't mark up someone else's drawings, it's against the
No,
education.
no, I'm not saying that they have to someone else's, but it's ultimately their
If they initial those drawings,
Yeah.
they're committing a violation. I can't allow
Could it be
that.
done tentatively and then on the,
Tentatively, the board can say
on the
yes, and then
stamped
you can
plans,
come
there will be
in
that
tomorrow
window.
with a set of plans
Yeah,
and some
if
other
they,
time.
exactly.
well, we gotta get by this to get the.
So
So we,
they,
so we,
so
so we
basically.
could, so we could do a subject to approval, Tom?
Why don't we finish
You
the
said
vote and see
subject
where
to
it goes?
submission approval?
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's what I mean, and the whoever prepared the drawings is going to correct them, but
Right,
then we
Daisy
can
will,
at least
Daisy will mark
decide.
down saying we're gonna be putting a window of a certain size in a
Right.
certain location.
Okay, so that's the idea.
So Claudia, you vote for,
You
you
vote
vote
for
for change of fenestration.
Yes.
So-
here's my suggestion.
Hang on, time out,
Well, we're
let's
just-
finish
Okay,
it off.
but
As well, more windows.
I also,
Not-
I also
not going
vote
to
for
design.
additional fenestration. I won't tell you what to do, but I'd like you to put more fenestration.
Yeah, same, I'm not gonna approve it unless there's more fenestration, especially the first floor.
Okay, so let me X this. In each corner of this dining room, if we put a window similar to the ones that are upstairs,
Two small windows,
in each side of this dining room,
get them
It's
built
still-
in on
it'll
the
still-
inside.
it'll still leave us room for a built-in in the center.
Could you line up the one
So,
window
yeah.
with the one?
I'm not sure if they're gonna line up, that's the,
Looks like it can because of the dividing
Can't you
wall.
make one-
from the
oh
kitchen.
yeah, we might be able to do that.
The wall separation is the same.
Well, I'd rather not do one big one in the middle because basically that's where, like the Hodgers
I'd rather have a
or the
window
buffets.
I'm fine with
I would
two
just-
more.
You're
No,
proposing
no,
two
that's
18 by
it's gonna be
46
off balance.
windows,
It's got one more
flanking the
here.
center height.
And one more.
Correct.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
it's
I think that
corner,
would look a lot better inside than having a big window.
So that-
And you're proposing stacking the 18 by 46 over each other and then having one additional window on the other side of the room.
Well, yeah, we have the one in the front,
Well,
right?
the side of the building, you're showing an 18 by 46 upstairs.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Two of them.
Two,
Right, so you're showing dropping down below that in the new dining room,
Right.
having one, and then on the other side of the room, having a second.
right, yeah, so there'll be
Correct.
two here,
Right.
like
So it's
that.
off balance, so you're gonna.
Right.
In the
you know,
dining
one
room.
line
It'll be
off
off
balance,
balance,
here,
So
one here.
one aligned and
Right.
one,
So,
so it would
Please
be.
go
if you're looking
ahead
at the
and
dining room-
just draw that in
I
there
know
for the
what
board.
you're
to
saying.
see.
understand exactly what you're.
Here,
No.
So on the
On the elevation.
oh, on the elevation upstairs.
So,
Well, I don't, hold on, let me make sure these line, because I'm not sure that's gonna line up,
nice inside.
because it's at the center of the house.
Stand.
Alright, so look at the,
and that'll be in the kitchen part, so that won't line up.
I think from the
No,
inside.
that's not
this
this
one.
one.
From the
It's
back.
this one.
Right.
We can line it directly.
This will
Oh,
line
this one, yeah,
up,
okay,
and
yeah.
the other one will be over here.
Right, okay, yeah,
No,
yeah, so.
He's gonna end up with a.
it's better.
No, on the elevation.
Cause that was gonna go in.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Let me just look.
you might have a kitchen dump right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
if the
that's-
refrigerator
that's-
wasn't there, you could do.
So, I mean, not gonna be the scale.
One
Alright,
under
so-
this one,
It's not the scale, it's just for
yeah,
the idea.
and then over in the center.
So couldn't use a ruler.
So basically, we're talking about something
Tilt it
like
up
that.
So we can all see.
Yeah.
No, I don't,
218 by 46, and then the hutch would be in the center.
no. That's,
I don't think that close to the.
It would have to be equidistant
In the
on the
Yeah.
inside as well, I think that's his drawing.
But it is gonna kind of look like this.
That would give us the hutch in the center with the windows flanking it. As opposed to having a window in the center of your hutch.
Oh, there.
It's better for me. I think it's more.
There's the floor plan of the inside upstairs, so it would have to match that offset in the
Right,
room.
match that and then it'll be balanced.
Correct.
It
So
would
it'd probably
have
be,
to
it'd
match
probably
that.
be a little bit.
His drawing is not
Right.
to scale correctly.
Plus, you can remember, these are modular, so there's gonna be 4 separate units, so there can't be a window centerized.
Right.
Alright, so let's go back and take call, do we support that? Claudia?
I'm good with it.
I still don't know, this one, how is it going to be, exactly this one?
It'll be equal distance inside the,
It's gonna be equal,
Inside.
right, right, it's
Inside the
gonna
house,
be equal
equal
distance.
distance.
I may have drawn,
No, I understand.
I may have drew it over a little bit too far there, but it's not to scale, but it will be equal.
I mean, look, to be honest, and it's just one person's opinion, this random hodgepodge of windows and offset pattern and stair step frankly looks worse to me than as they originally came in. I would approve that because let's move this forward, but it's awkward looking. It's kind of,
Yeah,
I'm thinking one window.
One window I think would look better from the outside, but from the inside too.
yeah, and it's, even then it's right in the middle of the room, there's no place for furniture.
What about,
Well, it's not in the middle.
no, she's saying
It's
keep
not
it,
in the middle of the room.
you're saying
It's
keep
on
it
the-
lined
it's on
up.
By the wall,
she's saying,
Do one
by the
window,
interior wall, isn't it?
right, she's saying keep it lined up with the upstairs window, I believe is what you're saying.
Okay.
I think one's.
I didn't know it's better from the outside.
Yeah, saying keep it lined up with the,
Well, you put a.
with the inside window, with the upstairs window.
was it put one window?
yeah,
up?
so basically saying,
Eliminate that one.
eliminate that one.
You just put that one window.
I don't
On
mind.
the
That's
outside,
pretty
the
good.
inside,
Yeah.
yes.
Like every
Now,
family, the inside
another
would look
thing,
a lot nicer.
I think one's
Just
best.
one, just do the one.
You would not consider to move this refrigerator here now?
No, because the pantry there is, there's 2 pantries, 18
Claudia,
inches
it's
wide.
not our role to.
No, I understand, I
You want your
understand.
triangle
Well,
there.
let me explain to you why, because there's 2 pantries there. One is a full depth 24-inch pantry, one's a 12-inch depth pantry with an end cap, because the air conditioning duct, the heat and air conditioning duct will
Your
be.
stove is right there, so you
behind
want your refrigerator there.
Yeah, we should agree,
Let's
these guys signing
let's-
it.
right.
We're,
You know, I
I think
mean,
we're good with
everything's
one.
done.
Alright,
Let's
so
put a
let's just,
proposal
let's
for the
just
group.
do this one. and
Just the
that's
one
it.
window?
Okay, wait, let's put a proposal to the group. So we happy if there's one window in the dining room that lines up with the right of the 2 upstairs.
Right, so that's what he drew, basically.
Are we supportive
Just
of
go
that?
without-
Hold your finger over that,
We're
yeah.
just going to
Right.
cross this one out.
Okay, do we support that?
Yeah, I
Yes.
do.
I do
Yes?
too.
Yes.
yes, I think
Yes.
it's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so just cross this one
And
out.
it'll be subject to that being on the plan, on the real
So
plan.
you're gonna add another 18 by 46 directly below that one window.
Right, I'm gonna X this one here out.
Understood.
Not
So get me revised drawings and we have a tentative approval based on that.
Yes.
That's fine, I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. I'm good.
So when should we have that, see, before the regular meeting?
Yeah, before the Wednesday of next week, we have to have these revised plans.
Okay. Okay,
otherwise you will not be able to go together.
Yeah, that's no problem.
okay, yeah, you can do that.
Well, thank you so much for your effort.
And
Thank you.
we tried.
Were these yours or were these?
Those are mine, yeah. We was just try to accommodate,
I don't wanna
Well,
stop some of
you
the
know.
buses on.
redesign and everything.
Okay, very good.
Alright,
Thank you.
have a good night.
You too.
That's mine.
You can go out that hall a bit.
The one that's marked up revised is
Yeah,
mine.
that's ours.
Well, okay. That's it. I don't think he marked that one up. Did he?
We know what, I know what you,
You know what
Okay.
we're gonna, yeah,
if
okay.
it doesn't match, then Tom will let you know.
Yeah, thanks.
We could always, send
We'll
it for
figure it, I'll
those.
get it.
2 sets again, please.
Yep, no problem. Do we have to, thumb drive it too again or no?
You can email it to me.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your assistance. Great.
Good. 42 Cherry Lane, so we have Michael next.
Michael? Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, that's a whole separate, yes.
Pictures.
Carrie. Caroline, I know it sounds familiar.
Off of Roaring Brook down the hill. Nicolai?
Yep.
Hi, Michael.
How you doing?
Good.
Sorry, I'm not there in person. I'm a little under the weather.
Okay. Are you able to share your screen?
Can.
Okay.
Let me start with the, good evening, everybody. Let me start with the existing. So this is the existing house. It's a 1.5 story ranch. Not very attractive. So the proposal is to add a whole new second floor with some minor modifications to the first floor. No real additions, a couple of cantilevers, but no real major additions. Everything is going to be really on the second floor. So I can get right to that. So again, here's the back. We have the Cape Cod with a shed roof in the back on the second floor. We have a very shallow roof family room addition that was done probably. So here's the rear. Not very attractive again. This is the only surrounding house that we could find to get a picture of. I actually walked the street trying to get photographs, and I just got a bunch of trees and leaves. So it's everything's set back on this block pretty well, so it's hard to get photographs of the surrounding neighborhood. But this is a good example of one of the neighbors' traditional colonial. Nothing,
But are the other homes in the neighborhood at this scale? Because this is dramatically bigger. This photo is much bigger and larger than the existing home. So we would like to understand the context of the neighborhood in terms of size if you're looking to make a much bigger house.
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
Even
so
if the foliage, in the winter you can see through.
yes, I understand that. We are zoning compliant as far as the size of the house goes. It's that we have a front yard setback issue, but as far as the size of the house, we are compliant. So
I didn't mean by code, I meant by reality. Are the other homes in the neighborhood at the size of the current existing house, or at the size of this photograph of the one house you've shown us?
I didn't do a comparison of all the square footages of the surrounding houses.
The volume, not the square footages, the massing of the house, the scale of the house. You're an architect.
Yeah, I mean, they're all a mixture of older houses, newer houses, and the house that we have designed here is in keeping with the neighborhood. I mean, there's some giant
If he's looking to make a
on
house that
Kerry
big with all the other houses.
Kerry Lane. There are some very large houses, so the house that we've designed is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood. So the existing first floor. where, again, we're renovating the entire interior, but have only a small little areas where we're gonna be bumping out. It's actually a cantilever, so we're gonna be redoing the front porch, obviously. So very, there's very little, there's very little new footprint. So um, so the new front elevation would be this. It's going to be hardy. The whole house would be new hardy siding. The whole house would get new vinyl clad windows. We're gonna have the windows are gonna be 6/6, PVC trim everywhere. We're not touching the garage as far as the structure, but we are going to be recladding it with a new asphalt shingle roof and new hardy siding. Our front entry will have a couple of PVC columns and then a standing seam roof. And then obviously we're gonna have new shutters throughout the elevation. So this is our front. This is the left side. Again, this is previously a single story addition that was done years ago. Now we have a 2-story addition now. Here we have the other side. Shows the existing garage, which we haven't touched the structure of. You can see the old roof line in red here. And then our new structure above, and then the new second floor over the family room. And then our rear is here where we have our new second floor over the family room, existing family room, existing kitchen, but we have all new windows, all new siding, all new trim, all new roofing. We have to extend the brick fireplace, the chimney up, because of the
I missed, are you cantilevering the deck out there in the back?
a little piece of this little piece of deck right here is being cantilevered, yes. Pretty straightforward, very traditional.
Well, I mean, I have one question that is, I still, you know, and you're an applicant in front of us all the time, you know, that you tell me that this house, which is much larger than, and it looks very nice, is much larger than the existing home.
Correct.
You know, I would want to have comfort that it is in keeping with the scale of the neighborhood, that it's not going to overwhelm much smaller homes, and you're supposed to bring us, you know, some documentation of that.
Well, again, the
Mr.
only thing that,
Chairman.
I mean, I walked
Michael, if I may, the board approved 60 Kerry Lane for the Belay family, which is a very large home, dwarfs this by comparison.
Okay.
So this is in keeping with the neighborhood that has very large homes,
Okay.
more larger ones than smaller ones to date.
Okay.
And it
I
does-
didn't know.
And it does look like the houses are set back far and you can't even see.
Yeah, I can't even see when I Google.
Okay.
So I'm okay with this house.
And then my only other comment, I can't help myself, but this is a poster child for it, is your front elevation has a singleton window on the right, upper right, double windows in the middle and the left, a triple to the bottom left and a quadruple to the right. But there was a sale if you buy, you know, 8 shutters, it's, I don't know, buy one, get 8 free. They're all the same. And I think it would look a lot nicer if you maybe had extra trim or some other architectural feature around the windows than put jewelry on the front facade, because it
Well,
looks silly for a shutter.
because the front door is asymmetrical, we were trying to achieve a balance rather than symmetry, because in a house like this, symmetry is not possible. So
I'm not suggesting
He's talking
symmetry, I'm
about-
suggesting losing the shutters and replacing them with some trim or some other architectural feature.
yeah,
I'm critiquing the shutters.
yeah, I understand that, and I understand boards, you know, again, you have your opinion about that. We actually had a version of this without the shutters, and I didn't like it because it left far too much wall exposed. Just as you were speaking to the previous applicant about not wanting to have blank walls and you want to have more, more fenestrations. So a way to do that is basically to either beef up trim or to add shutters. Now, the client really wanted shutters, so we're gonna provide them shutters. Adding taking our 4-inch casing and making it 6 inches is really not going to even show here a big difference in sort of filling up the elevation, and it doesn't have any pop to it at all. So at least this will actually give the house a little bit character. It'll tie in some of the other colors that we're going to have on the house, as far as the dark roof and the standing seam roof, that'll all tie in together with these shutters. Again, it's a personal opinion. I've got clients that love shutters. I've got clients that hate shutters. I've been in front of boards that can't stand shutters. I've been in front of boards that want blue shutters. So it's really about trying to make the best architectural house that we can for our client, and going back and forth with them for the past 12 months on this, actually. I think we're there. So I certainly appreciate your opinion.
All right, well, I respectfully disagree. It's incredibly inauthentic, and as a talented designer, you know that it's inappropriate for the house, but that's just my opinion, so.
Correct.
You can go to the board, but.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
I'm a yes.
All right, I lose,
Yeah,
but
me
that's
too.
okay.
I think it's an
I agree with
improvement.
on
Yeah.
shutters.
I mean, the back facade doesn't have shutters.
Yeah,
But
and
it's a
I know you're defending your
It's an
client, but
improvement.
you're a talented
Yeah,
architect.
it's a big improvement over what.
Yeah, it's
What's
nicer
there.
than what's the existing stuff.
All right, I'm disappointed with you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm all approved? We're good?
Yep, you're good.
Approved.
Next time, I promise I'll be there in person.
Thank you. We'll see you
Thank
soon.
Well,
Feel better.
well,
Thank you.
it'll be first.
Oh,
In person.
That is the worst
Oh, in
example of
person.
shutters we've ever seen in my 20 years.
For the record.
For the record. He's still here.
Hello.
12 inches of shutter.
What?
You got 8 foot of window and 12 inches of
That's
shutter.
I mean, you
Pictures.
but you could have, yes, but the house looks very nice and it's a much better house than was there, but that doesn't mean you have to settle for shutters on that variety of windows with the exact same shutter that is completely out of standard character. Anyway,
Okay, so our next applicant is 400 Roaring Brook Road. And
Hello, good evening.
architect, and is the homeowner on? Okay.
Yes, the homeowner is with us also.
And
Yeah,
who
we're
is Joel? Is Joel with you as well?
Yes, if you could give Yoel the ability to share the screen, he'll be assisting me.
Yep, he's
Yoel.
on.
Okay, great. So my name is Eric Jacobson. I'm the architect for the Lord family. And we're proposing to remodel the upper level master bedroom suite, add a new or remodeled and larger bathroom to that suite and a closet. The exterior changes will be that we're adding a dormer, which is going to be towards the front of the house, and some window changes on the side and rear. So if you could go to page 3, please, to the plans. So here's our floor plan, and you'll see that the master bedroom there is in the same location. We're putting a picture window towards the rear, which is a lovely backyard with 2 flanking windows. Those are our egress casement windows. And then we'll have closets as we go towards the front of the house, his and her closet, and then we walk into the area which we require the new dormer in an existing roof. That's the new master bathroom. So y'all, if you go to page 5A.
can we stop please with some photographs of the house and the neighbors and the site
It's
plan?
right here.
Right. I'm having a bad day.
You are having it.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so you have the photographs we submitted?
I
Yeah,
do now, thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. So this is we drew the existing conditions. This is what the home looks like now. It's got about a 612 roof pitch on it. And the front elevation there, you'll see that we have very large overhangs, both at the rake and at the fascia. It looks like over on the left side of the right side of the house, there was an addition put in a few years ago. So our dormer now, Yoel, if you could just go to page 5, our proposed elevations. So there we are. There's our front elevation. You'll see the dormer that we're proposing. The roof pitch will match the rest of the house. And because of the way the sloping roof is, it's kind of a short dormer. We couldn't pull it any farther forward without being in violation of the front yard setback. So that wall where those 4 casement windows are is as far forward as we could come without asking for a zoning variance. So as we turn the corner on the left side, the left elevation, we're reconfiguring some double hung windows on that side, which is very similar to the rest of the house. And in the rear, you'll see the 2 casement flankers with the picture window for the view. So with that, I'd like to entertain any questions the board may have.
No, looks good.
Looks good.
Oh, yes,
Straightforward,
looks great.
Looks much nicer.
Thank you.
You're approved.
Nicely
Thank you.
done.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
No, it's a nice set of drawings, nice presentation.
Why hand-drawn plans and
Yeah,
elevation?
makes a big difference.
Show out.
But it's yellow.
Did you learn anything?